Okay. Hi guys. Okay, so welcome to another practice with me session. So what I'm going to do in this session is just again go through how I practice, how I select tunes, how I notate tunes, and then how do I provide accompaniment to it. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to show you guys the tune that I'm going to be using for this week, and hopefully you'll be able to see this as well. And as usual, if you have any questions, just ask away. Just type away in the chat, and I'll also keep a little eye out in the community. In fact, I forgot to open the community. That's the first thing I'm going to do actually before I do anything. So I'm just going to go into my website and just keep an eye there just in case anyone has any questions. Yeah. So actually share my screen. I can share my screen when I do this. Okay. You can just a little second or two just to load my community. There we go. That's also something for you guys here in my mini course and full course, just to let you know that there's another 36 handouts that have gone out. It sounds a lot more than it is. It's actually just 12 tunes, but there's like 3 handouts for each tune. Okay, so it's there's a list in there of the ones that I've done. Still quite a few I have to do. I'm about halfway through it. Okay, so I've got 3 jigs, about 4 reels, and about 4 or 5 miscellaneous stuff. And there's another whack of tunes to go in there as well. So if there's anything that you would like to learn, any tunes that you guys who are in my courses would like to learn, yeah, just leave a little comment in there. And for any requests, and I'll do them too. Okay. So let's have a listen as usual. So this is Olivia again, guys. Remember, I told you to check out her Facebook page. She's loads of these things. I think I can actually get away with. I'm just going to copy the link here and yeah, put that into another tab, just so that in case I lose it, that's the one I want to do. The tune I want to do. Whoa, that was loud. Okay, so yeah, this is her Facebook group. Just lots of great tunes. This is the one that I'm doing. I think somebody said this is Scatter the Mud, which I may have learnt years ago, but I can't really remember it. Definitely haven't learnt it for Bazooka or anything, so that's the reason why I've chosen this one. But if you go into her videos, like just loads of these, loads and loads of them, and also her album as well. You scroll on down, like it's just one great tune after another. So it's kind of hard sometimes. I'm gonna have to go back through her catalog at some stage and pick out a few more, because I only get about as far as like 5 or 6 tunes down. I'm like, oh, I like that one. That's the one I want, and I never get beyond that. So I hopefully will get a bit more time to actually go through all the others, because there's loads and loads of them. Okay, so let me just keep a wee eye out if I move that out of the way. And for you guys here on, I'm just going to keep an eye out for new settings, new webcam, any dropped frames or anything. No, it's actually all okay. Ready up. So here we go, guys. Let's have a wee listen. Olivia, let's have a listen to a proper trap musician play a couple of great tunes. I think this is the one. Let's go. Get the volume. Yeah. great tune. I think that is the one that I learned from ages ago. But that's a nicer version of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and put that into MuseScore and then learn it from there. You may have heard me trying to mess around with the actual, trying to find the actual key, guys, because that's in quite an unusual key for me. Let me see. Again, I'm just trusting this time you guys can hear. Okay, so I'm going to just swap over to my Bazooki camera just so you guys can actually see me. And then maybe zero in on this. Maybe not that far. Okay, so the key that she was playing in was, I think, just a semitone higher than what I'm used to. So I'm going to have to transpose it down as well. So that's going to be fun. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the start just to make sure and listen to her playing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Yeah, a wee bit higher than what I'm used to. Let's see. Okay, so if I pause it there. Remember, guys, when you're learning a new tune, when you're learning a new tune, for the first time, listen and listen and listen and listen and listen. I would listen to it maybe about another half a dozen times before even trying to notate it. Oh, I'm lovely and out of tune, aren't I? Bit sharp, sharp. Sharp. Okay, at least they're all sharp with themselves. That's the real sort of thing to focus on, is that. So remember, this is capo on 8, and I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Playing what some of you guys in my course will know looks like the C fifth chord or the C5 chord or even the B minor chord, just pushed up. Actually, let me see, figure it out. This shows you how long a day I've had when I'm trying to actually figure out what is the chord that I'm playing here. I'm just so not used to the 8th fret. Okay, so we're in some sort of E flat, or maybe, yeah, I wouldn't say D sharp. I probably think of that as E flat. I wonder if I can change that over to my flats. Nope. Okay. Oh, radio. Worth a try. So again, I'm just using the app here, the reverse chord that we were looking at last week, and harmonic equivalents. Are just gonna have to figure out how to put that into flats. Probably more like that, I think. More. Oh. Yeah, so you've got your E flat, B flat, F, and B flat. And you're going up to just beyond the 12th fret, so it should be A flat, A flat. Any other? Yeah, that's a better one there. The last version. A flat suspended second. So like an A flat, and then yeah, having that B flat in there as your sort of suspended second or your sus2. Yeah, so you can see that sometimes you have to scroll through a couple of choices until you get to what you're looking for. So that's the chord that we're aiming for every so often. So you're going between that, your normal chord. I scroll up. a B flat 5 chord is the best way of thinking of it, I think. So aiming for that. A flat sus2. So going between B flat and A flat basically. So if you're doing the sort of broken chord accompaniment, of course this is being a jig. Or you could just do. So down, down, up, or down, 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 up. I prefer doing the second one. Down, 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 up. And then add one more down after it. On that second course of strings. And when she hits that da 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 da, that's where you want to be on that A flat chord. Ba 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 ba, and then back to your B flat. I'm really thinking of counter melodies here to end on da 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 dum. Like a little idea at the end there, or even if you want to do it up high. So that'll be on your third course and your second. Or if you want to do it on the third course. So second and third frets, you can do it on the first and third course. Okay, so I'm just adding a wee bit in each time. Let's have a wee listen again with the chin. Okay, I was a wee bit behind there. Okay, there's two possibilities there. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Where's she going? Da, 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 da. I think it's probably that one. Okay, so the other chord here that we're watching out for then is that chord, which if we keep it to our sort of flat ideas, it's like a G flat major chord. Yeah, I think it's better to think of it as flats, guys, because there's nearly no such key as, you know, D sharp major or anything. You think of this as E flat. Okay, so yeah, I wish there was a way I could move this over because it's suggesting A sharp sus4 over a D sharp. What? I don't know. It's just a program, but the most logical way to think of this is E flat, B flat, F, and B flat. So all of our chords, think of them in terms of the flats. Okay, so you should have this one, the A flat sus. You should have the G flat chord, and of course you should also have your, oh, where did it go? B flat Okay, so B flat, A flat, and G flat. B flat, A flat, and your G flat. Now, all of your sort of counter melodies that you'll be doing are all going to be based on those chords. Yeah, maybe that's nicer. There's various ways of doing that. Okay, I want to make sure that I've got the right chord there. Okay, this. Oh, for goodness sake. G flat. Okay, so that's the G flat major chord. I just want to make sure I think that's what she's playing or harmonizing with herself. So let's have a wee listen again. Actually, I think there's another chord she's putting in there too. Okay, so let's do what I usually do at this point. I'm going to go back into desktop mode. I'm actually going to show you guys, get back to my normal headshot. Okay, so this is the audio, and I'm going to try and record it, but then put it down a semitone just to see what does it sound like when we put it into the key that I usually do, which is A on the 7th fret. Okay, so let's see if I can just go back to the start. I might bring up the little audio hijack app, and I activate, skip for now, activate the recording part here just so I can get the audio. Here we go. Okay, so let's see, has that done anything for us here? Okay, let me see. Let's take out all this stuff out of the way. And let's have a wee listen to that work. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. So there's a bit of a gap at the start. So what I'll do is I'll minimize this. So yeah, this doesn't get in the way. I'll minimize my community, but still, guys, anyone in the community who's in there who wants to add anything, go for it. I will see it in a minute. I just need it out of the way first for a second. I'm just going to put this into a program I called a program I downloaded called Fission. Now, Fission's quite good because you can batch convert files like into MP3 or other types of file format or whatever you want. But this is the thing I want to do is open audio files. So I'm just going to drag this guy in, and you can see that I've got a big gap at the end there. So I'm just going to select everything there and then just, if I can remember how to do this, crop. So it should start right at the very start now. Okay, is this yet another app that I've got to add to this ever increasing list of computer audio? It is. Okay, my goodness, guys. I wish it would just do the whole thing. Okay, here's another one that I had to add in. So hopefully you guys can hear this if I go back and play it. Good thing about this app as well is that you can, edit different parts of it. Like if I want to increase the dynamic level of the whole thing, there's a wee tool down here that allows you to, like, that's ridiculously louder, but what do you hear? Okay, it's a wee bit too much, so I'm just going to undo that. Put it back to what it should be. Okay, well, it's recorded nicely. I'm just going to save it now as, so I've chopped off the beginning. Make sure that still works. Okay, so that's in her key of A. No, that would be considered. Oh goodness, where's my head gone? That would be your E. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, E flat. There we go. Okay, so you've got E flat, B flat, F, E flat, B flat, F, and B flat. What I want to do though is I want to move everything down here. Okay, a semitone. So now it's an A. So I'm moving everything. If you think of it on the keyboard, if I bring up my keyboard so you can actually see it, we are moving from let me see, B flat, but we're just going to move everything by moving it down on the fretboard by a fret. You're moving your capo down 1 fret, so it's equivalent of moving everything on the piano down to there. It just makes it easier for, especially when I'm thinking of chords and chord patterns and everything, it makes it easier for me. However, and I really would stress this if you guys are into like advanced playing and practicing, do try it in Olivia's tuning. You'd be surprised how many bands, I think Dervish do this quite a bit, and Alton as well, where they would have maybe just done it a semitone lower or higher than what was considered the standard tuning, the basic tuning. So I know the basic tuning very well, so I would push myself, to try and think of the chords, just a fret or two above where I'm comfortable. Always push outside your comfort zone for these things. So if I just, try now moving that into a new key. I can actually close that down, don't really need this open. So the app that I use for the next part then is from the same group, Rogue Amoeba. So they did the Fission app, and they did the Audio Hijack app. Okay, so those are the two apps that I've used. And now we're moving on to a different app called Pitch Switch. So Audio Hijack to get the audio, Fission to edit it and cut out the wee bits, and if it needs to be, you know, increase the volume, you can do that as well. Or if you need to convert it into something else. Now I'm going to go into pitch switch. And then pitch switch. I should be able to just drag this in. Here's the original sound. And I'm just going to move it down a semitone. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to keep looping that until we come up with some sort of accompaniment pattern for this. Yeah, that's a standard wee progression that anyone in my Bouzouki course will know about. The sort of descending. Da, 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 dum. Yeah, there's quite a few. Or you can just go. So it's really sort of a pattern of chord progressions. Or one chord progression where you're starting on the your A5 chord, and then you're moving down. They've analyzed this as an A7 sus4 over G. There's bound to be an easier way to think of it, maybe a G sus chord, especially if we add this in. Yeah. So then go down another 2, and what's their take on this one? An F major 7. Oh yeah, of course. F A C being your major chord and the E being the major 7th. You can, if you want, add that in. And just to take away the major 7th entirely and just have an F major chord by adding that finger in. And then the E sus4 chord. Yeah. Best way of thinking of it, I think. And then this D minor chord. And then you're going back up. Or if you want, bring that up, you have an E5 chord. And you can play this variation as well. Have your A minor chord with E as your bass note, so A minor over E, rather than playing the one way up here. Okay, so this is the higher version of it, and you've got a lower version. No, don't do the major, just keep it minor. That should be the main chords that we're using throughout this whole tune. Okay, so A5, your sort of G chord, or G sus2 maybe, and then go down another 2 frets. Yeah, you can actually, I would probably keep that if you can. It's a wee bit tricky moving everything down 2 frets if you're not doing it fast enough. Then E, +4, then down to your D. So it's A, moving down to G, moving down to F, moving down to E, moving down to D. So it's basically a scale backwards from A. A, G, F, E, D, E. Okay, so keep a wee eye out for that when I'm just going to put it into this performance. Let's see if I just play it from the start. Okay, a few occasions there. Now if you can get in the... Sometimes I put that in, or even I can get my pinky up there fast enough. So what is that chord? Well, it's kind of just a variation of the D minor. And you can add in the da if you want like a D minor 7th chord. Because when you're going to the next chord, that sounds nice. Da dum. The E5 chord. Ba-dum. So you're moving that C, da, whoops, D, down to the B. So, or if you're going to do the D minor chord and try doing the pinky finger. Okay, so da, da, da. That's a little bit. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because we're not technically in A minor here. That's sort of like a more of an Aeolian thing. Okay, so you don't want any. Okay. If we were doing more classical sort of stuff, you'd probably would want your leading note. Okay. So counter melodies to this is the last wee thing that I would want to sort of try and put into it, and then I'm going to try and notate it as well. Okay, so maybe just slowing it down. Again, that's what I love about this app. It's not only can you just change the pitch, which I needed to get it down a semitone, because I'm not very good outside of other keys. I'm getting better. I would slow it down as well to maybe about 85, 86%. Just to give me a little bit more time to sort of react to her playing. Okay, so there's something there. Okay. Okay, so I kind of like that speed and being a semitone lower. I'm just going to save that as altered version of tune. Okay, and again, this is all for just for me to notate it later. You know, I'm not going to be saving this like for anything. It's just to make sure that when I do actually write it down, that I've actually come up with something. So now I actually have the altered version here, hopefully. And the faster version. Okay, so that's kind of the original there, which I hopefully won't need to go to again if I can come up with stuff in this version. Okay, so if I loop this when I'm playing it, just so I don't have to keep going in and pressing play. Okay, well, so far from what I can tell from my playing here, what I have is, let me see, maybe a little bit unusual. I do have, I think, maybe 3, perhaps maybe 4 different little versions of things that I'm using. One of them is, ba-ba-bum. So you have like these little ideas or motifs. Ba-da-dum. Just in the high course, which is basically going from this CBA, which is very basic, and I'm doing the same thing in the third course. So trying to put them in every so often just before I'm going to hit this A5 chord. That's just alternating picking. I'm really hoping you guys can actually see my which course I'm hitting here. Okay. And also see my strumming as well. So down, up, down, down, up, down. Down, up, down. If you ever hear that, that's me messing up. Shouldn't be going anywhere near that fourth course. There are, I shouldn't have said that, because there are times I do like putting in like a... Even though I know it's A Dorian or A minor, I like putting in the odd G major, or it wouldn't actually be G. It's D major. And then maybe the G there. There's no other easier way to explain this chord other than a G add 9 over D. So it's a G, B, D, and we've added the 9th above G. If you think of, like, you know, on your piano again, if you think of the, let me see, your G, you go up an octave from G. Let's do it in the treble. If you go up an octave, there's your G, and then a 9th. So between this note and that note is a 9th. There's your octaves. There's your 9th. So we've added this 9th into this G major chord. Oh my goodness, let's get rid of that analysis. Okay. There we go. Just keep it in the treble clef while we're at it. Yeah. So a nice sort of straightforward chord is just your GBD, but if we allow that top note to resonate, this A, then we're going to end up with a 9th. So I do like putting it in. There's your 9th. So that's your GBD over D. D, and you can see how beautiful that sounds out of tune. Yeah, everything's getting out of tune now. So that's... It should be, believe it or not, it should be the same note. That should be your D. B, G, A at the top there. The 9th. Nearly every time I play it, it will nearly always want to go down. Dum, dum. You hear that a lot in like any sort of folk music. That sort of back and forth. Like if you think of a paradise, put up a parking lot. You know, that type of movement. So I like putting that in just like a surprise every so often, because you get tired of doing the same 5 or 6 chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So putting that in every so often. Oh, that's almost tooling banjos, that. Or what I was showing with the students the other night, they're Craggy, the soundtrack to Father Ted, Craggy Island stuff. It's getting a wee bit high. So yeah. It's a lovely little chord progression to put in the odd time. It mightn't work so much in this tune because there's so many references to the A going down to the G there rather than there. But it's kind of the same chord, but nearly all the time we're going to D minor. So every so often putting in a B major just may add something if you can do it. If you're playing with other people who, and especially if you're playing with other bouzouki players or guitar players, you definitely don't want to be clashing with the chords there. So if it's just you accompanying someone, then yeah, put it in just for the crack. Okay, let me just get rid of this piano for a second. There we go. So we have the... I've also got this little idea, bum, bum, which is from this 3rd fret up from the 1, 2, 3. It's hard to do this with a tiny little mouse to make sure I hit the right fret. Going down. So you're hammering from that C to the D. Hammer on. ba da C D E. So these are all the little scalic patterns, you know, that you're going C B A and C D E, and then doing mixtures of them. So da 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 C B A C D, and then hitting the E. Da da dum, back to the A. So if you want to hammer on everything. So what I'm doing there is from that A. Da, whoops, I did miss. So hammer from A open down up to that C. Ba-dum. Do the same thing from the E going ba. Whoops. Ba-dum. Ba-dum. And then same thing from the A. Ba-dum. So these are the hammer-ons from these open 3 strings, and I do that all the time, like from those top 3. But to me, that's just filler. I wouldn't even consider that like a melodic idea. It's just, instead of just strumming, there's nothing wrong with strumming, guys. It's fine. And especially if you're in a loud pub or something, you really are going to have to strum. Not many people are going to hear you doing counter melodies if it's just you and 10 fiddle players. You may want to put in the odd little ornament as well, if you can, you know, do little hammer off ornaments. The way that I do it, it's kind of easy with the capo on 7 here. It's kind of nice to do like a little roll on that A. So you strike it once on the 3rd course with your plectrum. So that's the first part, just hitting it, and then hammer on with your index finger. If you can hit the right string. Here we go. So that's the second part, is just hitting that. Not hitting anything in this side, just that. So there's no hand down here hitting anything, it's just hammer on. And then hammer off, so you're kind of plucking the string from up here. So strike with the right hand, hammer on with the left, and then pluck with the left, and then strike with the right. So this guy on the right hand comes in at the beginning and at the end. So here, hammer on, hammer off, and then up. Do that as fast as you can, but practice it over time. So you get it up to this speed. Whoops. Sounds good on the other strings too. Yeah. It's almost like a cran that you would get on uilleann pipes and that type of thing. Maybe there. Okay, so you've loads of little things that we can play around with there, and it's just a matter of where to push them in. You have that, the lower version of it. You've got that. You've got this, and you've got this, and you've got the row. Okay, so there's like one. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 little ideas. You string them together. Might be hard getting in the row. Let me figure out where I'm going to put the roll now. So I've got all the others, but the roll is the tricky one. Maybe at the end of the phrase. Maybe that's the best place to put it. Like there. If I try to put that in with... Yeah, so you start off maybe with... Okay, that's the first half. Then the next part. Okay, let's have a wee listen to the... See if we can fit that in anywhere with the tune. Some chords at the end to make it different. Okay, maybe not. Be nice if that was in tune. sneak a little one in there, just a wee sneaky one. Right at the very end. At the very end. Okay, radio. I'm gonna notate this down because I'll never remember any of this. Thank goodness I record these now. I used to just do this on my own. I thought, why not just bore everybody on YouTube with it as well? And hopefully you guys can actually see it. Yeah, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to start notating the actual tune. If I can get out of this straitjacket that I'm in. Okay, let me see. I'll just go back to desktop. And full version of me. Okay, now I do have to make sure that I do this correctly. Okay, so my headphones actually are the thing, aren't they? The first thing that needs to come off. And then this guy here. Good. It's the first time I haven't got twisted. Okay. Righty, let's have a look, see to see can we actually start notating this in MuseScore or something. This is the fun part for me. Okay. Let me see, I'm just going to bring back MuseScore, where are you, MuseScore? There we go. There is probably a easier way of doing this, making it into a MIDI file, but I actually prefer going through it, you know, like one note at a time type of thing. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to use a template. Yeah, okay, let's see if I can do this. If I go into instrumental tuition for the bouzouki, and this is Kappa 17. Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is the first one I'll be using for that. Okay, so just go into let's see what Banished Misfortune looks like. The reason why I'm a bit hesitant is that, yeah, okay, yeah, that should be okay. I'm just going to change a couple of things around. So let's copy this and put it into where should I save this? Instrumental tuition, bouzouki, practice with me. That'll be a good place. Oh, what was the name of it again? Scatter the Mud, I think it was. Scatter the, oops, the mud. Paste. And obviously it's not Banished Misfortune. We're going to change everything inside this file. So let's change the name to start with. There we go. Okay. So we open this guy up. I wonder if you guys can actually see this. I think you can. And it doesn't need to be this big. Let's zoom in a wee bit. Banished Misfortune is now going to be Scatter the Mud. I can delete all this out. I have a whole bank of, that's what I love about MuseScore, is that you can add in your own chords. I'm not sure if you guys can make those out, but on my screen it's big enough. Needs to be for my eyes. You can sort of format your own chords, your own tab. I'm not sure if that's a recent thing or not, but I only found out about it within the last year. So I've been giving my students, you know, just like the reverse chord tabs, you know, like this, but actually being able to put them in now into the actual MuseScore file, and you can see exactly where they occur. That's changed everything. That's so much better. So I'm just going to delete all this out because this is actually Banished Misfortune. there's the second part here. C5. And the third part's up here. I sometimes do this in D minor. So obviously those are just the basic chords, but from this you can work out your own little melodic patterns. Also, you've got the melody, you've got the tab, so you've got the chord charts, you've got the tab, you've got the staff notation, and obviously you wouldn't have this whole second row of chords in here. That's just for the audio. When I publish this or send it to my students, it's a bit cleaner. It just gives you the top, you know, there's no inner part here. So if you're wondering what all those gray notes are, that's just for the computer to actually play a chord. Okay, so scatter the mud. Let's delete all this fine work. From here to here. Let's go. There we go. Gone. And I think this is actually only a 2-part tune, so I don't even need this bottom part down here. If we do, I can add it back. It's no worries. But I'm just going to delete out those bars. Okay. And let's have a wee listen. I'm gonna make sure this floats. So it's looped at the moment. You float on top. So if I click on this, yeah, that should always stay on top. Yeah. Okay, so that should stay there. Do do dum. Do 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 dum. First thing you need to do is change that key signature. So it should be. Yeah, no C sharp. Dum. Okay. Down an octave. Dum. B A G dum. And you can see when I'm filling it in that it actually gives you the tab. Although I'm going to change this maybe. Yeah. So I add a capo because I'm adding the capo, remember, on 7, so we're not actually playing it down low. Maybe it might be easier, I don't know, but we'll see. Do 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 dum bum 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 bum. Oops. Okay, let me see how far have I got. Was that right? Is that what she's playing? BGB. I think she's actually going back up to the D. That leads back into the next part. That's what I love about notating trad music, is once you've got the first bar or two, you know, there's a lot of copy and pasting. So there's going to be a little roll in that D. Oh, it's a little bit different. Da da. So it goes up from D up to E this time. Da da dum. Bum bum bum. Do do dum. Bum bum bum. What happens after that? This is a bit harder, this one. Da 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 ba bum. Bum bum. Da bum. Ba 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 bum. Auto crotchet. Do. at the end. Okay, I think that's... If I just have a wee listen. May have gotten a wee or one, two things wrong, but let's have a listen. Yeah, there. Don't think there's two D's there. That's close enough. Okay, second part. Oh, actually, let's just do the first part again. I think it repeats. Oh, I'll have to open that again. Sometimes it doesn't like me messing around with it too much. Nice variations there. So as usual with Irish traditional music, the second half is higher than the first. That's the doesn't have to be, but that's like standard thing to do. And what did I get right? Listen again. Okay, I think she goes straight to the G there. And a roll, I think, in there. Maybe just, yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's have a listen. That goes straight back up. Let's have a listen again. Always listening and listening. Oops. So it's a far nicer version than the one that I learned. Oops. Yeah, so lovely variations over here. Da da dum ba ba bum da. Probably not right. Let's listen to that one again. Bum 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 da da dum. Da 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 dum. Dum. Okay, that's about as close as I want anyway. I'll do. Okay, let's have we listen to that second half just to make sure. I'm sure she varies it again when she does the repeats. So, you know, that's a sign of, you know, the professional musicians, guys, is that they never ever play it the same way twice. And I remember somebody asking, I think it was the guitarist John Doyle when he was on TV once, so what was the chords you were playing there? And he goes, I don't know. I play the tune differently every single time. He's got about 500, you know, variations for every chord. So yeah, that's the sign that these guys are just on a different level to us. But yeah, we're only looking to learn the tune. You know, we will get there. practice. Okay, so I think that's good to go. Now the next thing then is, do I need to add a little tab in this fella? If I move the tempo out of the way, I don't know why that's hidden. There we go. If I was to try that, let's see. I try this. Get myself back into the straitjacket again. Without the capo. If I put the capo on 7, is it easier? Might be easier without the capo. Yeah, do you know what? I'm just gonna leave the tab, and obviously I'm gonna be putting in here capo on 7 for the chords. Oops. Capo on 7. And so I will be putting that in just to remind my students that, you know, to add it for their chords, but for the actual melody. Because when I was doing it, I was looking at the number of open strings. That's usually assigned to put in ornaments and all that sort of stuff, so it's natural. Whereas when you add the capo, it's not as easy. It's probably a little bit tricky there going. Yeah, I suppose you could do it of cross picking. Go any further than that. Yeah, it's easier than doing a capo on 7 to have that. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna actually, if I had to move that so that I wanted somebody, one of my students, to actually play that with the capo, play the melody with the capo, what I would have to do, bit of a pain in the arse to be honest, but what you would do is you would go in here and staff or stave part properties, and you see where it says edit string data. I'd have to go in there and change the actual starting pitches for all 4 notes. So say if I didn't want the 4th course to be the G3, which as we know from here, if I go back, whoops, to this, you can see D3A3 D4. So D3A3, that should be actually G2. Yeah, so let's edit that. Lucky I did that actually. Where is G2 in this thing? There. Never really used it anyway for when you're not playing with the capo. So G, D, A, D should be the same as G, D, A, D. So G2, D3, A3, D4. That's what we have here. And if I wanted to, you know, add the capo on 7, I have to move all those guys up 7 semitones. So for this G string, I would hit edit string and go, okay, up 1 semitone, 2 semitones, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's actually hitting, you know, D3 there. I know it's complicated, so that's why I'm always glad when I don't have to do it. But yippee. Okay, so that's perfect as is. Now, capo on 7 for the chords though. Yeah, well, let me see if we go back. Capo on 7. Yeah. And the chord that we're going to need first of all is that A5 chord. Have I already notated that though? Have I been so good as to do that? I don't think so. Capo on 7. I've got a couple of capo on 7s, but not the one I'm looking for. So the way to do this is actually just to add in one like that. So you can see capo on 7, but that's not what we're looking for with the wee, you know, dot there, 2 frets above. We're looking for the dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frets above. So I need to go into properties and mess around with this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I don't get to see enough. So actually, I'm gonna have to visible frets. Yeah, just increase that a few more. Okay, let's go back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. So that's where he should be. Probably don't need to see so many. Let's go down to 8. Yeah. So capo on 7. That's what this little thing is going to mean. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frets up. Hit that. Okay. And I don't have to do that every single time. So what I can do is just copy this and shove it into my library. There we go. I want to give it a wee name though, so I know what it is. Don't have to go looking every time. Capo is it's A5, capo on 7. Capo 7. There we go. So if I float over that, it should come up. Yeah, A5 capo 7. Oh, actually, you don't know if you guys can even see that if I get my big head out of the way. Let me see. That's interesting. That's not working. Okay. Is it working? No. Is there any way to get rid of my head? There we go. Yeah. There should be a wee button that does that, but it's not working. Oh, there we go. It's working now. Yeah. Okay, so when I hover over that, hover over these chords, you should see, yeah, this little thing here underneath A5, capo and 7. Yeah, so it just highlights all these chords that I've added. Okay. Radio. So I do want to also make sure that my students can hear it. So if I select that now, I'm going to put in A5. There we go. Put it in here and just hide it for now. Okay. Probably for the next bar as well, it's going to be the same chord. Same thing here. Different chord here now. Dum, which is probably going to be this. This so-called G sus2 chord. Okay, so I don't think I have that down here either. No, I don't. So I need to add that. Yeah. Okay. So again, just add this chord in here. and let's edit it. Go in here, go into here, and just going to add in our fingering for this one. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets on the capo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Yep, I'm just going to add that in to our library as well, so we never have to add it again. That's a good thing about doing. Well, it's a little bit time consuming the first time you do, you know, any new tune, but once you've done it all in different capos, all these are going to stay here, and you just drag in whatever you need whenever you need. Okay, so we need it now. And this is going to be our G sus2. G sus2. There we go. I'm just going to copy that down here and make them invisible. The reason why I make these invisible, guys, is because when it comes to publishing, I just want my students to see the clean chords here. I don't want them to see the audio chords that I'm going to be using, because I do extract the audio from my students. Like, I go through this and just, you know, file export the MP3 so they can hear with the chords. They'll hear it like this. Dum bum ba bum ba bum. I think it's probably the same chords, is it? Let's just copy all of them just to see. And then maybe just another chord at the end there. Actually, it's a wee bit different. So yeah, that should be the dun 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 dun. This chord here. So let's copy this chord in here. There we go. Dun 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 dun. And then this chord is the ending. So that's the first half. Really straightforward enough. I know it looks very technical and everything, but it actually isn't. When you get into it. Okay. So if I was when I come to print this out, if I wanted to add in the counter melodies, I'd you know, add like a little, you know, piece of writing or something, or pencil or pen, or even if I'm able to do it in this, like, you know, just the score thing, you know, where I'm able to actually, you know, draw straight into the score and say, you know, maybe if I was to label all those 5 melodic ideas 1 to 5, you know, say, right, I'm going to do, you know, the first melodic idea here, and the third melodic idea here, and the 5th one down here or something, you know, just so that when I'm practicing, you know, with the audio, I know exactly what I'm going to be putting in and where. Okay. Do 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 dum do 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 dum. Actually, that probably should come in here. Yeah. So should be the same thing again. Sorry that it plays every time I click on it. I know that's really annoying. Yeah, it is. Like, I have to go through it quite a bit. Okay. Probably don't need the second one, actually, if I just delete that. Delete that. Delete that. Delete that. Delete those. That should be enough. Yeah, it's better. Let me see if I can remember. Capo 17 again. That's the thing, sometimes you'll notice, guys, is that even though the chord progression actually sounds okay, it may actually clash with the melody. That's quite common. I've looked at a lot of tune books where they've been very precise about making sure that the chords they've chosen match perfectly with the melody. And it's not really like that. It's not as mechanical as that. You know, when you're playing modal harmony, you will find that it's quite a few times that the audio and or the melody and the chords don't really necessarily line up out of context. But it's all about context that matters. Dun, dun, dun. That would sound good there. So the A5 here. Bum, bum, bum. Du, 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 dum. That's not going to work there. You see that da da dum. This chord, F. So we would have been playing an F major chord over a GBD in the melody. Da da dum. So maybe we could try and make it harmonize a wee bit better. Da 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 dum. Ba ba bum ba ba bum. Da da dum, da da dum. Yeah, so maybe this is an opportunity to put in our little sneaky chord. Our little G major, or D major in this case. If I show you what that looks like, this one here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that's still that will still work. You know, the A5 and the G sus2 over all this, and then just keep the G sus2 going until the end when you hit another A5 chord. So if we put in the basic stuff first, we can decide what we're going to do when we start swapping things out. So let's just copy this. So at the moment we've only done, I think, 2 chords. Yeah, so it's heavily reliant on A5 and G sus2. Let's just copy them in. That would still be G sus2. Doodle-doo-doo. And that would be your A5. Right at the end. So that's the tune complete in its basic form. If you wanted to add the sort of descending doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, that's where we would need our bouzouki. Okay. Let me just work out. What would we do here? A5. Da, 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 da. Probably could. There's enough of the E5 chord here. If I zoom way in again to fit him in here. Dun-dum. So yeah, okay. Let's see, can we add in the A? Again, that's another wee chord I'd have to edit in. So if I put that here, and let's go to properties and then just do it properly. There we go. Let's add that in. Copy and paste them in here. Add him there. And let's change his name to, well, it's going to be an E5 chord. Oh, yeah, don't forget to say capo 7. To remind me, because there are going to be loads of other E5 chords, but this is specific to the capo on the 7th fret. So E5. Let's add them in here, and let's make them invisible. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Oh, there's so many. If you were to disregard the strictness of the melody and just sort of put in your own chords, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from, you know, if it sounds good, to do. You know, going upwards. If you wanted to. It is going to clash with quite a bit of the harmony there, so I'm not going to do it because I don't want my students, you know, practicing this slowly and thinking that doesn't go well enough. The E5 does. Da, da, dum, ba, 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 da, 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 da. I suppose if you wanted to. A bit of variation of that G sus too. Just leave it, actually. I'll leave it. I want my students to sort of learn it that way first and then start adding stuff to it afterwards. Okay. Let's see. Put my bouzouki back. Righty, well, I think that's it, guys. I think that is finally the tune done. So it only took us 2 hours, but it was 2 hours of learning a tune and then, you know, recording it, slowing it down, you know, thinking of counter melodies, notating it. Yeah, so it takes a while, but you know, once, and the most of it was actually me just trying to come up with the chords there. Obviously it's very mechanical and very, you know, fake. You still obviously want to be practicing along with the, you know, the real audio. So I always advise students, go to Facebook and go to Olivia's channel and actually listen to the quality of it up to full speed as well, and add your capo on that extra fret. You know, push it up to 8, and you know, try learning the chords from there. Try it this way first, and then, you know, to sort of push you up to the highest level is try accompanying her playing it and see how far you can get. Okay. Okay, so we don't really need this anymore. Away that can go. And this is the original. We don't really need this either because you can just go to Olivia's, you know, Facebook page. Yeah, that's the real stuff there. So remember, if you are going to do that, you put your capo on 8, an extra little part. Okay, now let's save. Ooh. Desktop. Ooh, okay, sometimes it crashes. Save. Good. Okay, export. Let's export the actual PD. Yeah, it's going to go in here. And let's get the audio in case some students want to practice along, because I usually get them to do sort of a mid speed of about 115. That isn't up to full speed. Probably 130 maybe would be close. But I think 150. I always like slower tempos. 115 is perfect, I think, for learning. It's just a little bit slower than full speed, but not too slow as it to make it, completely unchallenging. It wants to just push you a wee bit. So 115 for me is always good. So let's get the audio to this as well. Export the MP3. Notice as well, guys, you can export the images, MP3, WAV file, MIDI, music XML, if you want to put it into Sibelius or anything. So we're just going to do the audio. That's 128, pretty sweet. But it's still going to sound like a synthetic sound. So what you could do if you wanted a nicer sound is you could go into the mixer here. And depending on whether or not you've watched my other YouTube video on MuseScore and Logic Pro, you can get the plugins from Logic Pro to feed into MuseScore here. So if I went into that banjo sound, I could go in and get, let me see, a decent enough bouzouki sound. If I can remember how to do it. So yeah, these are my plugins. So let's do the bouzouki. Is that going to sound? But you notice it's too low because this is the clef. I'd have to switch out the clef. So if I wanted to make it like a proper high sound, I would just take that clef and having to change it. There we go. Put everything up an octave. It's a wee bit low at the moment. The only reason I don't do it this way for my students is because look what happens when I put it up an octave. It's going to change. See all the tab? Just messes it up. That sounds better. It's got more of a bouzouki sound. So in order not to mess up the tab, I'm forced to sort of keep it, as if it's written for banjo or something. Oh, I'll have to go in and change the mixer here back to, what it was. Yeah, sound fonts, music basic. Choose automatically. Should find for me the banjo sound, yeah. Yeah, so there are, it's not like, it's free software, so it's not a recording studio, so don't expect to be able just to manipulate the sound perfectly into anything you want that you want. If you want to do that, you'll have to use something like Logic or something. Logic Pro or some other DAW. Okay, that should be working. I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, scatter the mod. So I have the MuseScore file, I have the PDF of it, I have the MP3. Same for Hanley's Tweed. Same thing. Oh, actually, I don't even need these anymore, do I? Don't even think I do. No. And I can just go in. I think for this one, I did it a wee bit differently. I actually put it into blue and then did the red to show some of the variations. Okay, so I'm not going to do it in the other one because there's just too many variations. Just going to keep the scatter the mud quite straightforward. Okay. So for those of you in my course, these are going to be in there if you're interested in learning, and you can come back into the lives and go through the sort of chords and stuff I was messing around with. I haven't really got it down entirely, but then again, it's only our first night looking at it. So if I wanted to do like a really good counter melody or accompaniment or something, I would probably spend a few more classes on it rather than just the one. Okie doke. So hopefully, guys, that's let me see. Maybe can I access this MuseScore? Is that for any full course members? Oh, Martin, let's see. I have your mini Bazooki course. Can I access this MuseScore, or is that only for full course members? For these ones, guys, these are just practice with me files. They are going to go into the full course, so yeah, it's something that the full course members get access to. I think I may have given out the Hanley's Tweed one just for anyone who was there the very first week, because they sort of helped with the audio. But if you're ever interested in going to the full course, guys, yeah, they're all going to be in there. I'm going to be adding loads more, plus part 4 of the course, where there's other stuff already in there as well that are building up quite nicely. So yeah, I'll see what the crack is, guys, for this one. You're either going to get it through if you subscribe to the monthly lessons, in which case they will go in there if you're like doing the monthly subscription lessons, or if you pay the one-off full course, yeah, it will go in there as well. So yeah, it's for those students. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're in the monthly subscription or in the full course, you get access to all the handouts and audios and stuff. Okay, good stuff. Let me see. Okay, good. There's a few people who are commenting there. Thanks very much, guys. Okay, doke. If anyone has any questions, I'll hang around for a few more minutes, and if not, guys, that will be the end of the stream. And yeah, I shall see you again next week. These are going to be free every week, so yeah, you're more than welcome to join in at any time every week. That's no problem. And yeah, any questions, just let me know. Okay. So the thing I was going to do is make sure. Yeah, this is for the other students for part 4. Part 2, actually. Cooley's Reel. This is another one that the students are doing from the full course. If I go into this one. Let's see. Okay, that one's actually done. Yeah, so yeah. Okay. Let me have a wee look, see what were the other ones to do. Part 2. Coolies, Dusty Windowsills done. Lado Burns, Mountain Road done. Out on the Ocean, Star of Monster. Music Land Art is done. Lilty Banshee, Mugabranial. The Relay Weird. Okay, there's quite a few. Maybe about another 4 or 5 to do. Okay. And yeah, for any of you guys here in the full course, you're going to be getting all of these notated for you as well. Now that I can actually do that in MuseScore, it's going to be great. Yeah. Martin, I hope to get the full course soon. Yeah, Martin, it'll always be there. Like, don't be, in a rush to get it. Like, if you've got the mini course, that's fine. Just stay at that, because you've already got, I think 12 tunes. I'm not sure if you saw my thing tonight in the community. There are 12. What you just saw that I did there with MuseScore. There are now 12 tunes in the mini course that you should be able to go through the exact same way. So there's plenty there to keep you going for a while anyway. And whenever you're ready, like for the full course, remember, it's just a one-off thing. It's not as if you have to, pay monthly or anything. So it'll always be there ready for you whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready for it. So, there's no rush. Whenever it's not going to go anywhere. It's just the fact, if anything, it's going to build up over time. So if you're still going through the mini course, it's probably not much point going to the full course just yet. Okay, because you're still going to need to get through those 12 tunes, which is part 1 of the full course anyway. Okay, so when you get to the full course, you'll get part 2 tunes, part 3 tunes, part 4 tunes, the practice with me stuff, and all the weekly lessons in bouzouki that I'm doing are going to go in there as well in part 4, so that'll be continuously updated. So, and once you get in there, like, that's it, you know, you never have to you know, pay for it again there. So don't worry, take your time, it's not going anywhere. I'll be ready when you are. Yeah. Okay. Radio, guys. Well, I think we'll leave it there for tonight. That was a nice wee 2-hour stream. So as usual, if you have any questions, guys, please come over to the Top Score Music Academy community. It's there. There's lots of freebies in there as well. There's a free lesson that's being given away in there. There's free stuff for bouzouki. There's free stuff for tin whistle. There's free handouts in there for my top favorite chords and other stuff. So I'll be making a proper list of free stuff in the community over the next week or two, because it's a wee bit, you know, all over the place. So it will be a bit more organized. Just wanted to make sure I got these lives organized and know what I'm doing, hopefully. So hopefully when I listen back to this, you know, I haven't lost any audio anywhere and the levels are good and you guys were able to hear it and it didn't crack or anything. So always be, you know, willing to do that as well, guys. Go into the chat and just say, sounds crap. You're too loud, bouzouki too quiet, turn up the bouzouki, turn you down. Turn up the backing track, turn the bouzouki down, or turn the bouzouki up and the backing track down. You know, just let me know with the levels. Don't be afraid just to type and say that's not loud enough or that could be louder. That's really welcome feedback. It's the only way I know to do it. And hopefully if I keep doing this is only the second proper live. The first one was a disaster. So the one last week and the one before was a disaster. Last week was our first. This week's the second. And I'll be doing these hopefully all year. So get like about 50 tunes, you know, up and running. And yeah, you'll be able to watch these back in the YouTube channel. And there'll be links in the community as well. But do join the community, guys, if you haven't. Top Score Music Academy community. There's so many things that are going to be added in there over time. Yeah. Okie doke. So we'll leave it there, guys. I shall see you again next week. And if you're up for the Ask Me Anything, that's going to be tomorrow night. So yeah, another. Let me see if I can actually get it up for you guys. See if I can find it here. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, tomorrow at 5. Okay, so I haven't lost my mind completely. It is tomorrow at 5. Okay, so ask me anything tomorrow at 5. And I shall see you guys then. All the best.